Guys, what's up? Welcome in. It's Jake and Brad. We are live, and it is a Browns 17-16 loss. We're going to be brief in thought because we went live for most of the game, and obviously we'll see if we keep doing that. I don't know if we will do that as much as every week. Assist was great. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We had fun doing it, although the last 10 minutes wasn't very fun. But listen, here's what I'm going to say, Brad. I don't know when it's going to happen. I don't know. Someday, if you have a kid in the car, I'm sorry. If you're listening to this with family, I'm sorry. This shit's going to end. I don't know when it's going to stop Murphy's Law happening. It might be when they get a new stadium. It might be when they get new ownership. There's some sort of cloud that hangs over the Browns for reasons that you can figure out. If you want to believe it's because owner that's in place, if you want to believe some other thing, you want to believe the NFL screwed them over. The fans who were pre-1999 move, they don't deserve this. Brad, I think about this often. Like, my dad is as diehard a Browns fan as I've met. Loved them. Grew up with the Browns in the 60s and 70s. All of that carried into my childhood, right? Like, he brought that into my world, cared about them even when they shouldn't have been cared about. And he died last year. And like, he didn't get to see what I would have wanted him to see. And what I'm getting at is, like, when these games happen, this one, what is it, Brad? The Jets game a few years back where ironically Joe Flacco and the Jets won in the last, my dad was at that game and some others I don't know when this stuff is going to stop, but someday it will. I hope we're around to see it. I don't know what thing has to be changed. Maybe it's they get the ultimate quarterback and it completely, like the Buffalo Bills, changes their belief that they can do these. They can make these plays. They can make these moments happen. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's as simple as moving stadiums in 4 years. I don't know, Brad. But I want to reiterate, someday this shit will stop. I don't have the answer, but it will. And today hurts. They hold the Bengals to 141 yards of net offense. They go 327, take the last 20-yard catch they went north of 300. They went and held the Bengals to 141, dominate the second half, and they lose. And I'm sure there's going to be some stat out there about teams with this amount of yardage and this amount of whatever, like are 332-1 since 1950. Well, now they're 332-2. I don't know when it's going to change. It could be a coaching staff change. It could be any number of things, Brad. I don't know. Someday it will. But for now, sitting through these things that we sit through more often, so much, like a 10-1 ratio between this type of game and some of the games we got in 23 or the Ravens game last year. You don't get enough of them. And it stinks for fans. And it hurts because it's right there for the taking. And you just want your team to win these games on Sundays, to kick your week off right, to feel good about them. It was there, Brad. It was there. And they lose 17-16, and it's a bummer. And we're hurting the same way you guys are. And we're also just like super annoyed with all of it because I've been doing this for like, I don't know, Brad, you've been doing it in the same time frame, almost like a decade now. We're coming up on like a decade of doing this coverage, and they can't get it right. They cannot get out of their own way. I'm frustrated, man. And I know you guys are too. And I just want to empathize that to start the show. So you can take the table now to Brad to air anything you want to say about the game and your initial feedback.
Yeah, and just I echo your sentiments. I am highly frustrated with the outcome, the way it happens. It's like if they went out and got beat by the Bengals, and the Bengals were a better team than them today, I could live with that. And better than them outplaying the Bengals the way that they did. You get a Myles Garrett takeover moment. You get, the defense knuckling up at the end, and you get a Joe Flacco performance that was, spot on, exactly what you needed from him today. And just some silly nonsense. You've, 3 chances, maybe 4 to win the game. The missed extra point, the missed field goal, both loom huge for your new kicker. And then you've got 2 alley-oop scoop interceptions. How can 2 of them in the same game? Both of them killer. One gives them 3 points because the defense got to stop there, right? So, and then the one at the end of the game, I don't know either, like, why this stuff happens. Like, I asked myself, do they need better wide receivers? Do they need better personnel? Do they need... I can't put it, like, on the coaching, because this kind of loss where they find ways to lose transcends this coaching staff into ones before this and beyond. We're talking since
If it
99.
were one simple fix, you'd fix it. I don't know. I don't know if it's this. Like, I see people in the chat talk about the stadium. I'm with you. I want to believe it's something simple, but this does, Brad. Like you said, it's like the NFL gave the Browns the short stick when they came back after the team was abandoning the city. Didn't give them the same advantages they did the Jags and the Panthers when they arrived in the league. So they've been fighting it, but that's not an excuse. It's not, it's like, this has transcended decades of the, and it's like, I'm again, and I want to get off this in like 2 minutes, because I don't want to sit here and woe is me. We're going to talk about, there were some performances that matter, but like, I am like, you've been in that stadium, right, Brad? When's the last time you went to a game? Have you been to games recently? When's the last time, like, real game you've been to?
Yeah, 2 years ago.
So I would just say, when you're in the stadium and in those moments, you can feel something. Like, you can feel the fans' lack of belief. The fans, and this is not the fans' fault. What I'm saying is, like, this idea of what can go wrong will go wrong, and we're waiting on it to drop, is a real thing. I talked about this on the show before. This is like 2016. I was up there, almost again 10 years ago, and they were up 20-0. Jumped out on Baltimore 20-0 in this game. Flacco was their quarterback, Baltimore's. They jump out 20-0 lead. It was Corey Coleman's rookie year. He caught a touchdown from Josh McCown, living in the high life, man. Jumped out.
Yeah.
The PAT gets blocked in return for 2, and it's 20-2. And I'm telling you, the entire place sunk because they knew this was going to happen. And I'm just saying, at some point, this place is either going to get the right coach, and I'm not saying Kevin coached poorly. Be clear about that. He had a good game. He called a good game. The defense called a good game. This is not on the staff. I am just saying, at some point, there has to be a coach or a quarterback or somebody that is such a belief maker that this stuff just turns. I don't have the answer. I'm just telling you, we've watched too much of this stuff for 2 decades now, whether it's throwing your helmet because you thought the game was going to lose. I don't know when it changes. Somehow these things change. Excuse me. You're watching Kansas City or Pittsburgh today. Pittsburgh wins some way on a field goal to win the game.
Right.
There are these teams out there, these franchises where you're watching, like, how do they always find these ways to win? Mm-hmm. And then you're watching the Browns have these moments every year where they take the jaws of, what is the phrase? They snatch, failure out of the jaws of victory. There's some phrase. I'm sorry. My mind's in mashed potatoes.
They do the opposite. They snatch the joy of victory from the,
we're butchering this. The jaws of defeat or something like that. I don't know. What we're saying is, like, what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to put this thought on you, Brad, which I'm probably hammering in the wrong direction, but, like,
it's okay.
Someday this will change, and somebody will arrive, or something drastically will change about the organization, and it'll change, because it doesn't make sense why it happens to them so often, because these are good enough players. Jerry Jeudy's a good enough player. Mm-hmm. 2 drops that hurt them critically today, one of which, the first being the interception. I'm not blaming him for that. That ball is down low on the ground, basically. He goes to dig it out, and it pops right up into the hands of a DB behind him.
Yep.
Cedric Tillman going down to get a ball, kind of going down to get a ball. Not perfect placement, but catchable. This is more catchable.
Very similar ball.
Not as low, but more
catchable.
Catchable. And it bounces perfectly into the hands of a DB waiting behind him. Those don't happen very often. Those tipped in your hands, landing in the hands of somebody else. They don't happen very often. They don't happen very often for your Browns.
No.
That ball rolling out to the right, who I think Daryl Johnston even said, like, hey, man, Burrow gets his hand hit as he's coming through. And if his hand doesn't get hit or gets hit maybe like a half a second later, it's intercepted. Messenger was waiting there, and it lands at his feet. There's a hold that doesn't get called in the end zone on that last sack before they punted, and the Browns ultimately missed the kick. And it's like, if that hold got called and he was 1 yard deeper into the end zone, it's a safety, and they take an 18-17 lead. I'm just kidding. Like, what I'm saying is, I feel like I've been doing this for a while, and we've done shows just like this so many times compared to the rest of the league. It's deflating. I'm tired of doing it, and I don't have the answer, but I do know maybe I'll be alive for it. Maybe I won't. The Browns dominated the 50s and 60s and had really great runs in the 80s. Wasn't alive for that. Maybe they'll do it in the 2030s. Maybe they'll do it in the next 5 years. I don't know. Something has to change. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. But eventually it will. It just will. Just evidence of it changing. So I'm frustrated. Your frustrated. There's 3 wild things that happened today. A missed PAT, relatively normal. Happens across the league. Missed 39 yarders, not very normal. When you check it, 3 wild things kind of had to happen, and they did.
And some other stuff. Yeah. I mean, along with that, you have the Judy drop initially. You had a couple drops, the Fannin drop right before it.
Right.
And when we were watching it live, you said those are the type of plays that make a difference in the game, because that drive was a chance to go down and take a lead, right? And
at least another chance to kick or go. You know what I mean? Yeah, they didn't get anything out of that. They punted into the end zone.
They had 3-4 chances to go win the game, basically. And one of them was a missed kick. One was that interception. One was drops. I got
it for you. The Browns held the Bengals to 134 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
The Bengals finished the game with 141 total yards.
So they went for 6 yards in the second half?
Collectively 6 yards in the second half.
It's unbelievable.
It's unfathomable to lose that football game. As I've said before in that Jets game, where they were up 13 points with 1:30 left, unfathomable to lose that game. As we said when Dwayne Rudd threw his helmet, it's unfathomable to lose that game. It's, as we've said, when they had the walk-off kick return against the Ravens on Monday Night Football 12 years ago. Unfathomable. We do this. We do it. Keep coming back. We keep doing it. We keep coming back. What I get annoyed with is we're just in the prime of Miles, and we're in the prime of Denzel, and we're in the prime of Grant Delpit, and these guys who should be playing really meaningful NFL games into the playoffs, and it doesn't happen for them. It is they held Burrow to 14 of 23, 113 yards today. They held Jamar Chase to 2 catches for 26.
Higgins was what, 3 for something?
3 for 33. That's it.
You're not gonna do much better. We'll watch all year. Let's see if they do much better. Any defense does much better against this offense all year.
I don't think they will.
You had their number in the second half. You were moving the ball in the second half.
Flustered, making them call timeouts. Burrow's confused, can't hear. Everything was there. Everything was there.
It was all
Brad.
there for the taking. The momentum was there.
Yep.
They found a way to lose again. And it's just they get creative, and they still hurt. They hurt the core because they deserve to win the game, and they played better, and the things we talked about, they did some really good things today.
Which we should hit on. Let's hit on those. If you go back and look at our FanDuel parlay of the week, we were right on some things. We were wrong on some other things.
Yeah.
Very proud sponsor of FanDuel, coming through, helping us out, doing some things with us this year. We're very excited about, including putting out that parlay of the week. We'll talk about some odds throughout the week, different things. We'll go through it. But in that parlay, we thought Dylan Sampson was going to get a lot of opportunity today. I thought more than Jerome Ford. A lot of prognosticators thought the other way around on that. I didn't see it going that way. FanDuel thought it was that way. I didn't see it going that way. We were right on the cusp of our 37-yard Sampson rush number, 12 for 29. We got to talk about the O-line. We'll get there. Talk about the run game.
Yep.
But Samson runs 12 for 29, not great, but he catches 8 balls for 64 yards, did a great job. Thought he was phenomenal. Thought he did exactly what they needed him to do to win the game. So that's really encouraging, right? That's a part of our parlay because we missed the run total and we missed a couple other things. Like Jerry Jeudy actually did get to the yardage number, ironically, with that last catch. But
that last catch, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and there was just some elements of it that we missed on, but it's not like we were that far off. Like Njoku had 6 targets, only 3 catches. We thought he'd get to 5 catches.
Mm-hmm.
There's little elements there. So again, appreciate FanDuel helping us out this year. But anyway,
Thrash Bond thing was something
we definitely did. We didn't see it going that way. Thrash ended up getting 1 catch for 6 yards, a late catch on that last throwaway drive, but we had him over 1.5.
Wild though. The implementation of Bond into the offense in the way that he was. We'll have to look at the snap counts, but I mean he was involved heavily all game.
Mm-hmm. Well, we talked about in the game day show.
Yeah.
How does a Browns win look for you? And we got a lot of these elements right, including kind of being stifling defensively, making the Bengals punt, making them uncomfortable, making Burrow come off his first read. Burrow looked flustered a lot of the game. Game. We said they had to run the ball. They didn't run it. They ran 49 net rushing yards. I don't have the total number of attempts. I can count them up right in front of you as I do this right now. You're talking about 18 between Ford and Samson, 3 carries for 3 yards and a touchdown from Sanders. So, if you take out, excuse me, guys, sorry. If you take out Flacco's 2 runs, even if you include Flacco's 2 scrambles for 6 yards, you're talking about 24 rushes for 49 yards. It's awful.
Not going to cut it.
Samson, 2.4 rushing yard average. Ford, 6 carries for 8 yards. It was awful. That's it. I mean, like, you made Flacco throw 45 times. You made him throw 45 times. They could have won despite that, but that's the formula we were afraid of.
We were.
Is that these guys were going to have to lean on Flacco to throw and throw and throw. I think he only took 2 sacks in this game. In 45 dropbacks, most dropbacks came when there was 0 rush threat in front of him to help him. It's not awful to only have 2 sacks. I don't put the 2 interceptions on him, and I'll tell you why. The first one, you could say, okay, it was a bad accuracy ball, but if you watch, there's penetration off the left side that actually gets a hand on him. He steps up to try to get away from it, and then he can't really follow through because he steps up into internal pressure. Yeah. It's still out there enough for Jeudy to have a chance to catch it, right? But
tons of room.
That's one where it's unlucky. I mean, it starts with an O-line leak issue, but it's an unlucky outcome because he's doing enough to get it out there. Judy's going down to try to dig it out, and it pops right up into his hands. So
he's got 2 hands on it.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, I listen. His job is to go down and root those out. He's getting paid big money. He's got to get it done.
Yeah.
But I think we can also simultaneously recognize that's a really difficult catch in that circumstance, down on the ground, going down to try to get it. The outcome being that it turns into an interception in the lap of somebody behind him is so wild, it's laughable. Your reaction right there, Brad, is perfect. It is laughable. So, we don't have to keep running through it. I mean, again, I thought they didn't. They came down to 3 things. They didn't run it well enough. They had to have balance. They continually tried to get under center and run it, and they couldn't do it. We're going to have to break all that down for you this week. They couldn't do it. Don't have the answer from the TV view, Brad, but they just couldn't do it.
No, I don't think DeJuan Jones played a very good game.
Nope.
We'll have to look at that.
Multiple penalties on holds. He had a false start. He had
not very good
downfield
game.
Yeah, he was downfield on one. He was the weakling today.
He was. But none of them were very good. They didn't get the push we were hoping for, or any of the the physicality, identity stuff we were talking about when the line of scrimmage on the offensive side of the ball, in the run game. They found ways though in the second half and beyond to kind of using the swing pass to Samson as an extension of the run game. Get him the ball on the edges where he can make people miss and got upfield. Yeah. And that kind of made the difference, I feel like. Getting him those touches out on the perimeter was a big find for them. He was a huge weapon today. I mean,
He
makes
was
people
a
miss.
lot like bingo, Brad. A
Finishes
lot of
strong.
making people miss. He had more push in terms of, whenever he met resistance at the line of scrimmage, certainly more push than you got from Jerome
Finishing,
Ford.
falling forward.
I think I need to watch it. I'm with you, and I think we talked about this during the live stream in the second half. I would have preferred more gun run to under center where you were not being able to move the Bengals' second layer of their defense could kind of like slow play it in the perfect way that even the run action stuff wasn't working very well off of it the way you would hope it would work. So, they're reshaping this run game. They're trying to do different things. I thought they got a little too reliant on being under center to run. I thought they needed more diversity in the shotgun run game and then trying to figure out ways to get the football on the perimeter. Got a little better later in the game, but it was too little too late. They needed to run the football better inside. But you take away 2-3 drops, pick 3 of the 4 drops, you take 2 of those away. You just even take away the Tillman one at the end, you still had a chance to get down there and kick another field goal. So that's the part that's disappointing. You put too much on Flacco. We talked about how does Flacco play 17 games. Well, it's not 45 dropbacks, brother. It's 25. It's 25 or less.
It's not.
Yeah.
But he held up today.
He did well.
The thing. It's a shame. It's like he's not going to hold up. You're not going to ask him to throw it 45 times. He's not going to hold up and be as good as he was today every game, I don't think. But he was on the money today.
Yeah.
And
good enough to win the game. Good enough to win.
Yes. It was a squandered
That's why,
performance.
You can't even go, hey, I'm going to watch Garrett Nussmeier highlights to make myself feel better. Like today wasn't him. Like they were good enough. They just didn't.
The quarterback.
The mental fortitude to win the football game didn't come through. And so that's disappointing. Like we said, the offense didn't meet that standard, but they also went for 320 yards, which is good enough, right? And it's just making kicks, brother. I mean, like you make a PAT and you make a kick and you a 39-yarder or whatever that was and you win. It doesn't get any more complicated than that. It doesn't. The defense deserves a collective shout out. We will dig into the all 22 about how that came together. I thought Mason Graham had real moments. Miles dominated moments. Nice pressure from Isaiah McGuire late in the game. Defensive line got better as the game wore on. Like they dominated the Bengals in the second half in every phase. Greg Newsome had some really good moments. The formula is that defense being able to run the ball with better, respectable efficiency.
Yep.
Can you run for 60 yards with your lead back?
Yeah.
Respectable efficiency. Right.
Can
and then hit some.
Get you 70.
I would love to think maybe.
On
and then having
like
some
today. Isn't that the difference?
I would hope. You got to see it. You don't want to place too much ill-placed blame on this ahead of time, but it was not good enough by any measure. Yes, Judkins, I think, definitely helps. That's frustrating. A layer of the frustration.
Yeah.
And then, like we said, it was they didn't dominate up front on an offensive line against the Bengals defense the way that we thought. I put a video out about what Washington did to them in the preseason. I wanted to see more of that. Ultimately, it didn't manifest in that way, but the offense still did enough that they should have won if they take care of 4 plays. The fan and deep crosser drop, the the drop by the first drop, and they kept that drive right after the fan and one to Judy. We've hashed it out enough. I feel optimistic about some things. I feel optimistic about the rookie group. I thought Schlesinger had moments. Harold Fannin way more involved than we thought he would be. Like just where weapon. Flacco's eyes kept going. Yeah, a fun weapon that I look forward to see how he develops. He puts together a 7 for 63 debut on 9 targets. Also, they got a little package in there for him to run the ball. Young guys are encouraging. I thought the veterans played well around him. You make a kick. You don't have one bounce off your hands of the 2 that did. Probably win, Brad. You probably win. It's frustrating.
Yeah, you could even gotten away with missing that kick and probably won this game in a couple different outcomes,
I'm more interested in how they bounce back in Baltimore now. That's easy to say. I'm obviously frustrated with this a lot, but what are you going to do? There's none of these things. That's what I was saying to you when Schmidt missed the first one. Like, he's over there with his hat on talking to the snapper and the holder. It's like, go kick into the net. Figure out why you're leaving these things out to the right. Like, there's not a
coach talking to him.
Yeah, like bounce back attitude about this stuff. Are they going to be able to bounce back in week 2 on the road because you can't change what just happened. So you got to try to figure it out from here. But they were really competitive today. I thought they were the better football team on the field. It's frustrating to lose. But the question I'll close with you on this, Brad, is would you prefer this outcome or would you prefer the boat race that happened last year against Dallas where you had no chance and you could just kind of tell where it was going?
Oh, I would much rather prefer this outcome. Because it was a competitive football. There was nothing to like at all about last year's game. This game at times was fun to watch. There was momentum swings. It felt like the Browns had control.
Mm-hmm.
So all the things, to be honest, like a lot of the things that we talked about, like where there's reasons to be positive, or if things fall the right way, they're going to give it a chance with Flacco. They played out. Like those circumstances played out. They had a great chance to win this game. They didn't, for very odd reasons. Once again, found a way to lose, and we can do whatever. But the cornerstone players, your Myles Garrett takes over the game. Denzel plays well. Your secondary plays well. Your defense plays really well altogether. Your rookies start to shine. You have some weapons. There are things to feel good about. This feels like an awful loss because you should have won 100%. You dominated the game. But for the things that we talked about, like things that need to go right for them to win, they did those things. And they did a lot of the things. They were in the game. They need to be able to run the ball better. But despite that, they still were against a team that nobody really gave them a chance to beat and handled them for the most part, except for 4 plays.
Yeah, in 22, they lost that game week 2 against the Jets, 31-30. Had a division game the next week, which was Thursday night home game against the Steelers and beat them. So can you take this really frustrating loss and turn it into something that ends up, it's not doesn't erase the loss, but it helps get your season back on track. So it's a long year, man. This is a marathon. We'll see what comes of it. There were really encouraging things that we talked about in this show about Fannin and Sampson and Schlesinger and Mason Grant and like the collective defense looking like it really fit together well. The offense having real moments. I liked the structure of it. It felt good. They got to figure out how to run it with some efficiency.
Yeah.
And we'll break down why that happened the way it happened. The kicking stuff is.
Do you look for a new kicker?
I don't know. You can't. It's too quick. I think he needs he needs a couple weeks. I would hope you give him a couple weeks, but the leash is short, brother. Like if he has 2 more performances like that, probably gone again. I don't have the answer for that. I just know that I've parallel Brad to our frustration about the 25 years is that the kicking thing has felt like this. We had one good Dustin Hopkins year. And since then it's been like, how do you solve? Like they just can't solve that. I would love for them to solve it.
Such a fickle position, and it feels like with outside of Phil Dawson, that place is cursed for kickers too.
It sure does. Right? It sure does. I all I can do is I know this. I don't know if you feel the same way as me, folks, listening to the show, whether you're watching this live or whether you're going to listen to it back on a pod. I can't go anywhere else. I can't stop caring. Yeah, it's my job. I get I'm doing this for a living. But I was a Browns fan for many years of my life before I decided to put a microphone in front of my face, and I can't stop caring. I don't know how to do it. So I hope you feel the same way as I do.
Same.
And if we got to ride this out for the next 10 years before the shit turns around and it's really fun and they're like in this world where they're getting all these 1-score victory, like, how do the Browns just keep figuring this out? Like the Chiefs style stuff here, like someday it will turn, and I promise it's going to be really fun. Someday. And what we'll do when that happens is we'll say, hey, Jake, man, I remember September 7th of 2025 when you were like, I don't know when it's going to happen. It kind of feels like it's happened, man.
Yeah.
Kind of feels like it's happened. So I don't know. Like I said, can't go anywhere at this point. I can't pull for another team. I can't not care about this team. We'll see. It's a DNA thing, Brad. It's a DNA thing.
Yeah, you got a taste of it in 23, right? You won some close games. You won that game on a missed kick by Moody against the Niners. Some of those things were happening for you that don't always happen, right? Like, so that it's in the realm of outcomes. You got a little taste of it. Sometimes you just have to make your own. Like, you can blame this on luck today or whatever, but really, I think it's about making your own luck, Jake.
I
Like, you
couldn't
just
agree
have
more.
to have players that don't do the things that we see guys do sometimes,
And it has to happen over, like 23 was fun and great, and they made their own luck sometimes that season, and it was a joyful ride. You got to string like 5 of those together.
Yep.
Belief doesn't happen overnight. It happens by doing it consistently. And then after 3, 4, 5 years of believing, and hey, and it doesn't have to just be solving quarterback, right? Having a dude is having a Josh Allen nice and, changes the culture, the environment of your franchise. Yes, everybody wants that, but you have to solve it by doing it consistent over and over again and making those plays. If you slap a Pittsburgh Steeler logo on the side of Harold Fannon's helmet, does he make that catch today? I don't know. Same for Jerry Jeudy. I don't know. But what I do know is that Murphy's Law stuff around that stadium and in these moments is still there. Someday, though, we might be able to see them change that. But for now, It hovers, it persists. And today was another one of those. And what I mean by those is those games that we will sit back and remember in the next 5 years. Remember week 1 of 2025 when they outgained the Bengals by like 180 yards and lost? I don't want to talk about those, and I hope they end. I am very curious, like Brad is very curious, if they bounce back and have a better performance and go stun the Ravens coming off of a very big game against the Bills. They'll be coming back down to earth. You got a chance to catch a team off guard. We'll be here to cover it. A lot of stuff coming this week, all 22 breakdowns. Going to break down how the rookies played. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll do a What We Learned podcast from our rewatch tomorrow. We'll be here. We'll cover it. Browns Film Breakdown goes nowhere. Just like us as fans, as much as we get annoyed with them and as much as we get upset and bothered and the jokes persist, the factory of sadness and the other thing, we'll still be here and we'll still care, because what we don't want to happen is when that moment happens that I'm talking about, Brad, when it turns and it's right and it's beautiful and they got this thing figured out, you don't want to not be around. It lives in your brain. I'm telling you, folks. It's back there somewhere in the back of your head of like when it happens, and I don't know when, but when it happens, I don't want to have missed it. I don't want to have not been around. So we keep coming back. We keep getting up. The punch happens in the face and we stand back up again like the Goofy meme. And it's, I'll do it again. We'll be here again next Sunday. So I will see you all next Sunday, just like Brad and I will. We can't wait to be here for you. We'll be here all year. We'll cover it however it needs covered. Until then, thank you guys. Brad and I appreciate you very much. And as we always say, because what else are we going to say, Brad, at this point?
What else there is to say?
Right? Whoops, push that a little too soon. We're going to, keep saying, as we always do, go Browns.
Go Browns.